Hey guys, welcome back to Vince-Vell Custom. So today I'm sharing with you this Wolverine Bar themed statue. I don't know who made or produced it. It's a really cool statue. It's sculpted really well. But I was asked by the client to take it, repaint the statue, and clean it up and add metal claws. So there was a little problems here and there. I'll kind of go over all those. But first thing, we contacted Warren from War N Resin. He made up a really nice set of claws. This claws that came with the statue were these. Basically, it's just sheet metal cut and really not polished. It's really like dull and dirty. But Warren, you know, he takes the claws to a whole new level. Cut up a really nice set of claws, polished them to a mirror shine, and give them those like points that it's all like sharpened. So Warren actually gives you a really long set of claws, which actually like really long, which is great. Because what I did was I found out when I was working on this, it was all hollow. You know, he's pretty much a hollow cast statue. It's not actually pure solidness. So the claws actually come to about his knuckles. When I was working on it, I was putting A's into the arms, and I kept filling it in, and it came to the point where I could spend all night to fill up the statue. So I kind of stopped. The next night I filled it up more, and then the next day I filled it up more, till it got to the point where I was kind of working within here. So I drilled out all the knuckles, and I set up each claw going in each hand. I marked out which one was which. So at the end, I could just do what you see here, is just put some glue in there and drop the claws, and then they're all done. So it worked out pretty cool. It's really nice and clean now, and it just looks badass. So when I got the statue, I was asked to clean it up, to really take a lot of the smudge of resin, because it seemed like whoever had it before really didn't clean it up very well. So there was a lot of resin pieces all over the body. Like, there was a huge seam going across the hair. There was like resin gunk all over in the knuckles and on the knuckles and hands. There was resin pieces all over here. There was stuff. It was just a real mess. So we wanted to go with more detail, clean it up, and change up the color. So the way it was painted in the beginning is the jeans were a bright sky blue. We wanted to go more with you know, realistic grayish blue jeans that are kind of worn out. The white shirt actually was more of a, it was weird. It was more like a yellowish, off-white yellowish. So we kind of went more with the wife beater with the yellow and gray shading on that. And then the hair is black, but we got some blue tints in there. Not much, but just a little bit. The biggest change was the boots. The boots that came with the statue were like a very tannish boots, and they kind of matched the skin too much. So it looked almost like he was barefoot in a way. So we decided to go more with a reddish leather brown boots, and then give them nice shiny metal tips for the boots, and just brought it together a little bit more. So once all that came together, it really makes the statue pop. Now I also painted up the base and the barrel. The barrel was actually painted like this in the beginning, as you can kind of see. It was just like a yellowish paint with just some really quick lines, and that was it. So what I did was I took my time and I built out each plank. I detailed it, added some lines. I just kind of wanted to give it more of a barrel look, you know. And also the floor was redone. I'll kind of get in closer what we did with the floor. So the floor was actually kind of similar, the same way. It was all it was like a big yellow paint, and then it was just quick lines going across, and then gloss coated, because it looked like really glossy. So what I did was each plank, I kind of like, you know, did some worn like bar floor, and then I did washes of brown and black at the end to kind of bring out all these like cracks and divots and all the, because there's sculpted lines in here, but whoever painted it before didn't utilize those sculpted lines. So that's what I did, and just kind of brought them together. So as you can kind of see, just try to make them badass, dirty, really bring out the muscles a lot more compared to what it was. Cleaned it all up from resin. Got a lot of the crap off, fixed up the seam line in the hair, and just ran with it. So and just, you know, as you can see in the jeans, I did some dry brushing on there to weather them out a little bit more like it's used, and just get away from what it was, and kind of just do my own take on it. So that is Wolverine Bar scene. As for the face, you know, I really wanted to pop out the teeth, and then you know, the glossiness of the mouth, also the eyes. The way it was painted before is it was kind of like a little bit of a streaky hair, and then what they did is a really black like shading line going across, and it kind of really didn't blend too much. So I did the shading with skin tone first, and then I took my paintbrush and I did really fine detail with trying to bring out the little hairs. And I also did it with his eyebrows, but I left some of the skin showing in the eyebrows just to kind of give it that realistic look that it's there. Used Archer Transfer decals for the eyes, and just ran with it. And little things here and there, little details. It's just trying to make sure that the belt buckle and the pieces of jeans were all still the same color going across, because the one that came with it, there was a lot of bleeding of the brown going over the blues, and it was just very messy. But we got all that cleaned up now, and just try to detail as much as possible and just make them look badass. But that is Wolverine bar scene with new metal claws. So hopefully you guys like the way it came out. A lot of fun. It's always good to, add in stuff from other people that can make claws or cloth items, and just bring statues together from different people to really make a statue pop. So hopefully you guys like the way it came out, and thanks for watching. But keep watching. I got a really cool surprise with this Wolverine statue next part of the video. You guys might like the idea. So let's get set up and we'll show you that. Okay, guys, what do you think of this? I think it's really cool. So if you get your hands on this Juggernaut kit, and you could get your hands on that Wolverine statue, and somebody who's actually good with woodworking, you can make like a bar, up to about Wolverine, up to the waistline, and then you can get the bar with some stools, and then you could do a wooden floor and put Juggernaut on the wooden floor, and you can have a really cool dio, just really badass, like that old comic book where Wolverine's facing Juggernaut on the bar. But I know, Juggernaut doesn't have his hands up like that, but it's still kind of almost in scale, and you could kind of really pull them together. So it's kind of glad that my friend didn't pick up his Juggernaut yet, and this one didn't go out the door yet. So it kind of gives you an idea of, there's a lot of statues out there, there's a lot of kits, there's just a lot of stuff. So who's to say you can't take these different kits, mix and match them, and create some really cool scenes, So if I was actually a big Juggernaut and Wolverine fan, and I had to have these two statues, I would actually go to the extent of making a bar scene and putting it together and really bringing the piece together. I would get rid of the barrel, the beer bottles, the base, and I would get rid of this base of Juggernaut, and I would create a whole cool bar scene. But the only problem is I don't have room in my house for it. But I mean, if you have a big man cave studio and this is something that, you really want to go crazy and do, it's kind of a cool idea. So I just figured I just wanted to show you guys that these two are kind of in scale, and you can really make something pretty cool. So, but that is Wolverine bar scene, redone, new claws, all cleaned up, repainted, and hopefully you guys like the way it came out. And we'll see you next time.